Naruto has one of the deepest and richest casts of characters in the history of anime, with literally dozens of characters getting fleshed out, complex, and emotionally hard-hitting backstories that turned them into somebody's favorite character. However, even though the universe itself already has dozens of highly appreciated characters, I still find that there is a plethora of characters in Naruto who don't get the recognition or praise that they deserve. And in no circumstance is that more apparent or more appalling than with Hinata, the Naruto character that I believe to be truly the most underappreciated character in the entire universe. Oh, but Nick, aren't you always talking about how Kishimoto's terrible at writing women? Yeah, I am, and yeah, he is. However, it's undeniable that if Hinata isn't the best written woman in all of Naruto, she's one of the best. And I have a lot of evidence to back up that claim. And today, we're gonna be getting into all of it because today we're talking Naruto's most underappreciated character, explained. But before we get to explaining anything, guys, please, for me, like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. And if you're looking for one additional NC Hammer 23 video every single week, you guys can go ahead and find my Naruto reaction series using the fourth wall link in my description below. We're on to Neji versus Hinata, which is actually what spurned on this entire video. We'll get into all that today. We gotta talk about our favorite recurring sponsor to the page, HelloFresh. The days are getting shorter, which means it's getting easier and easier every 24 hours to lose track of our nutrition goals. When it gets dark at 4:30, it's real hard to not give in to the impulse to just order takeout for dinner. And I know when it starts getting darker earlier, I lose the motivation to do all the things I probably should for myself, like cooking homemade, nutritious meals. However, that's where HelloFresh comes in. See, as I lose the motivation to keep myself healthy, HelloFresh's delivery of incredible ingredients to my door every single week not only ensures that I don't have to trek over to the grocery store and try and figure out what I'm cooking while it's dark at 5:30 and I'm lost, portion out all of the ingredients I got, find some kind of recipe, hope that the recipe turns out good, yada yada yada. Rather, perfectly portioned ingredients come to my doorstep every single week with chef-crafted recipes that not only allow me to smash my macros, but also ensure that I'm not spending hours in the kitchen. And with 100+ recipes to choose from every single week, a recipe list that now, mind you, is featuring bigger portions, 2 times more healthy options, and 15 high-protein meals every week, I never have to worry about getting bored of what I'm cooking every single week. And thus, not only am I saving money, and a lot of it, but I'm also ensuring that this winter bulking season doesn't get out of hand. But there's a big difference between telling and showing, so let's head down to the kitchen and cook ourselves some dinner.
For those of you afraid making HelloFresh meals is going to take too much time, they always have options that allow for you to get done cooking and get to eating real quick.
All you have to prep is your ginger, your garlic, and then split up your greens and your whites of your scallions. I also have to cut these wonton papers into quarters. Cook up the pork in the provided sesame oil. Add in the garlic, ginger, whites of the scallions, and some carrots. We then add 5 cups of water and all the stock concentrates that were provided and let it boil. We then drop in our wonton triangles, one will-ish at a time. We added in some bok choy. We sprinkle in some green onions for additional flavor. Sprinkle on some wonton crisps here for a little bit of crunch.
All that's left now is to dig in. So hot, but delicious.
So what are you waiting for? Get up to 10 free meals on your first box of HelloFresh at HelloFresh.com with code NCHammer23FM. Free meals applied as a discount on first box. New subscribers only, varies by plan. That's up to 10 free HelloFresh meals and free shipping if you just go to HelloFresh.com with code NCHammer23FM. It helped me lose 55 pounds. It could probably do the same for you. See, I will admit that Kishimoto is terrible at breaking his female characters out of incredibly tropey roles that feel about as copy and paste from the playbook of how to write anime characters as it could possibly be. Some of the female characters are strong and mouthy and claim to hold an equal amount of strength as the boys. However, every opportunity they're given to prove that claim, they come up short. Some of the female characters are timid and shy. However, when push comes to shove, well, they also come up short. And some of the female characters basically just don't exist in the story. And while unfortunately Hinata is written as tropey as all of the other female characters in Naruto, I do genuinely believe in her circumstance it's less offensive. See, while characters like Sakura and maybe to a lesser degree Tsunade are supposed to be the tough girls who could hang with the boys, smashing and bashing their way through powerful enemies, just like Naruto and Sasuke or Jiraiya and Orochimaru, unfortunately Unfortunately, the both of them consistently fall short of this goal. See, in Sakura's case, a lot of her character development is tied into the idea of her strength, because A, she wants to be as powerful as Naruto and Sasuke, a goal which was unfortunately made impossible to achieve by Kishimoto on account of the fact that Sasuke and Naruto were revealed to be the reincarnations of the child of God, and B, Sakura wanted to be able to achieve a level of strength that would make her able to assist Naruto in getting Sasuke back to the village. And while in a sense she does achieve the latter, when placed in situations where she could either fight Sasuke, incapacitate Sasuke, or facilitate a situation that would allow for Sasuke to be brought back to Konoha, she either makes the wrong decision, chickens out, or simply doesn't have the strength to accomplish what she wants to. And thus Sakura and a lot of the other female characters in Naruto are constantly set up as some of the strongest and most prominent characters in the Naruto universe. However, every chance they get to prove that those claims are true, they critically underperform. Whether it's failing to attack Sasuke after he kills Danzo, failing to stab out Obito's Kamui eye before Madara gets to it, or even something as simple as Sakura being saved in her battle against Shin by Sasuke, even though Sasuke admits after defeating Shin that if he hadn't stepped in, Sakura still probably would have won. Which begs the question, why have Sasuke step in at all? Because of moments like this, there is a massive dichotomy, and I'm sorry I keep harping on Sakura here, between what we're told to expect from Sakura and what we get. However, the same can't necessarily be said for Hinata. See, many people, if you ask them who's the better written female character in Naruto, Sakura or Hinata, will answer with Sakura. She's in the story more, she gets more fights, her strength is more often placed on display. However, assigning value to a female character based off how strong they are is an incredibly male-centric and shonen-specific way to assess the value of a character. See, Sakura is not a better character than Hinata because she's involved in more fights. And once again, I'd like to establish here that there's a lot of great things about Sakura. It's just Sakura and Hinata exist as like two sides of the same coin here. But anyways, rather, if you get into the nitty-gritty of it all, Hinata may actually be a better written character than Sakura on account of the fact that she actually accomplishes the goals she sets out to. See, unlike Sakura or Tsunade or any of the more punchy female characters in Naruto, Hinata's life is not dictated by strength, at least not by her. See, Hinata doesn't have an obsession with increasing her physical strength, but rather her mental strength. Hinata's battles are all mental ones, and unfortunately for her, she has to fight some of the toughest battles that anybody in Naruto has to face. See, Hinata is the heir of the Hyuga clan, the biggest, most prestigious, most prolific clan in all of Konoha, the most powerful ninja village in the world. She is essentially the princess of a ruling class of powerful ninjas in the most powerful nation on Earth, and is therefore kind of second only to the Hokage in terms of ruling power in the land of fire outside of the daimyo, who I'm not including. And therefore, as the heir to the Hyuga clan, she lives with a target on her back, set there by people like Neji and the other members of the side branch family, who live the majority of their lives resenting Hinata. And this is possibly justifiable on account of the fact that when Hinata is born, all of the non-branded members of the side branch family had to receive curse seals on their forehead. Curse seals on the forehead that would allow for members of the main branch family to literally control them, or even possibly kill them if they wanted by destroying their brain with the curse seal. And while that very obviously isn't Hinata's fault, one could understand how resentment would build towards her. But also Hinata has a target placed on her back by other villages, like the Hidden Cloud, who after signing a peace treaty with Konoha decided to send ninjas to sneak into Konoha to kidnap Hinata so they could yank her Byakugan out of her face and do experiments on them. On top of this, as the heir apparent of the Hyuga clan, Hinata has the weight of the world on her shoulders to get strong, preferably becoming the strongest member of the Hyuga clan so she can lead from the front. However, the circumstances of her birth made that difficult on account of the fact that not only her cousin but also her little sister were born once in a generation geniuses. See, Hinata is not weak. In fact, for her age, she is a highly proficient Gentle Fist user in part 1 of Naruto. And by the time that the 4th grade Shinobi World War rolls around, pretty much the only person better than her at using Gentle Fist is a guy who dies in the 4th grade Shinobi World War. But it's not just Neji, it's also Hanabi, who's established in part 1 of Naruto as being a better Gentle Fist user than Hinata, even though she's only 7 years old. And thus Hinata, who is a ridiculously powerful Hyuga, is born at a time when two other ridiculously powerful Hyugas are born, dwarfing all of her accomplishments. And thus Hinata had to undergo torturous training sessions with her abusive father, who tried to beat skill into her, and honestly, under this pressure, she shined. Yes, the first real fight we see from Hinata is against Neji, and yes, during this fight, it is revealed that she is massively outclassed in a clash of gentle fist. But she does hold her own. She's able to block attacks from Neji. She's able to launch her own that Neji has to dodge, and she's able to land blows on Neji. And while the blows that she lands on Neji don't do nearly as much damage as the blows Neji lands on her, more than anything, she tries. She overcomes the fear that she feels for Neji and competes against him at the highest level of her strength. And that's where Hinata separates herself from a lot of the other poorly written characters in Naruto. Because while her goals aren't as lofty as Naruto, Sasuke, or even Sakura's, she, like everyone I just mentioned, minus Naruto, accomplishes hers. See, Hinata has two true real goals: support Naruto and become the head of the Hyuga clan. Two things that, mind you, she accomplishes flawlessly. Well, yes, gaining strength is an agenda item for Hinata, which is why she trains as hard as she does, and why she created Twin Lion Fist, and why during the 4th Great Shinobi World War she was displayed as having an almost equal amount of strength to Neji in all gentle fist techniques. Just gaining strength was never Hinata's primary goal. Well, yes, her father wanted her to be the strongest amongst the Hyuga so that she could lead from the front with pride. Hinata herself openly acknowledged Neji's strength while he was still alive, and harbored no jealousy towards him for all of the techniques that he was able to use better and at a higher level than her. That is to say that Hinata acknowledged openly the fact that Neji was stronger than her and didn't hate him for it. On top of this, she never used Neji as a measuring stick. Well, yes, she had respect for Neji's strength. She never thought to herself, oh, I need to be as powerful as Neji. She was proud of what Neji was able to accomplish and was honored to train alongside with him and call him a family member, because her goal was never to be better than Neji. It was simply to gain his respect, something that she accomplishes. And while Naruto does absolutely assist in this journey, the majority of the work done in the accomplishing of this feat is done by Hinata. Because sure, in Naruto and Neji's battle in the finals of the Chunin exam, Naruto beats the idea out of Neji's head that somebody can't overcome the circumstance of their birth, which opens the door to Neji and Hinata growing an actual relationship, training with each other, and gaining respect for one another, which ultimately allows for the two of them to make each other strong. But without the hard work that Hinata put in, both before and after Naruto and Neji's battle, Hinata never would have been able to gain Neji's respect. On top of this, if it was Naruto who mended this broken family, Hinata still deserves credit, because she is by far and away Naruto's best friend, and the singular most important person when it came down to transforming Naruto into the man that he is today. The kind of man who wouldn't let Neji talk crazy to Hinata and put him in his place in order to ensure that Neji understood that somebody can overcome the circumstance of their birth. See, I'm not saying that Hinata is Naruto's true best friend because they get married and have kids and your wife always has to be your best friend. No, I'm saying that because long before there was Sasuke or Iruka or Jiraiya, there was Hinata. See, Hinata was the first person in Naruto, outside of Kushina or Minato, who kind of have an unfair advantage to this on account of the fact that I don't think Hinata was alive yet, to see the potential in Naruto. See, when Naruto was a snot-nosed, goggle-wearing graffiti artist, Hinata watched him with glee and understanding, while the rest of the village treated him with contempt. Hinata understood exactly what Naruto was going through, and the level of strength required for Naruto to keep showing the world a smile, even though every single day was a perpetual struggle. And while obviously Hinata watched from the shadows, we see over the course of Naruto, Hinata accomplishing another one of her goals, which is being more bold in her support of Naruto. See, because really when it boils down to it, the only reason that Naruto doesn't think of Hinata as his first best friend is because Hinata was always too shy to try and spend time with him, even though she was one of the first people to like him. And honestly, watching the journey of Hinata trying to show her feelings to Naruto, to me is actually one of the best character development arcs in all of Naruto. See, kind of the first thing that we ever see from Hinata when it comes to openly supporting Naruto is after his battle against Kiba, who is one of Hinata's teammates, mind you. But before Hinata goes to check on whether or not Kiba is okay, she makes sure that she shares some medical ointment with Naruto, which is one of the first times that we see Naruto and Hinata openly interact. And this moment takes a lot of courage. Now, obviously, Kurenai has to help Hinata through this moment, which is a kind of sweet motherly moment for Kurenai. However, this moment sets the stage perfectly for Naruto yelling at Hinata to battle against Neji and not let him down talk her like he's doing in their preliminary match. Now, as to whether or not Naruto would have been as incensed to speak up for Hinata if Hinata hadn't shared with him her medical ointment, I can't say. However, this moment where Naruto yells at Hinata to fight back against Neji and not let herself be looked down on by him is the first ever verification that Hinata gets that the value that she's seen in Naruto her entire life is valid. And while moments like this aren't necessary for Hinata to have feelings for Naruto, it's a confirmation for Hinata that the feelings that she has for Naruto were well placed. That the investment that she made in Naruto when he was 5 or 6 or 4, however young she's established to begin having a crush on him, was a good choice. Because Naruto is openly standing up against what he identifies as injustice, defending somebody that he barely knows. And the beauty of this moment is that Naruto calling out to Hinata is enough to spurn her into believing that she stands a chance against Neji. And thus she gains the confidence to battle against somebody who her entire life she's been told is stronger than her. And even though Hinata doesn't win the fight against Neji, she wins a fight with herself. She allows herself to step out of the shadows, acknowledge her own strength. She tells Neji that he's wrong, that she wanted to join the Chunin exams of her own accord, and that she belongs here. And honestly, she does. If she had pulled anybody else besides Neji, Dosu, or Gaara, she probably would have won her fight. But as the story progresses, Hinata gets more and more bold in her support of Naruto. Displayed in moments like when Naruto was pinned to the ground with chakra rods by the Devapath, Hinata showing up to try and battle back the Devapath so that Naruto could free himself. And while once again this fight does not go well for Hinata, Hinata's character is not measured in her strength. It's measured in the fact that she entered into a fight that she understood that she would probably die in order to save Naruto's life. And the confidence to be able to do that without being provoked by anybody else shows us a massive amount of growth from that scared little girl who was unable to psych herself up to battle against Neji without being provoked by Naruto. And Hinata takes this even one step further in the 4th grade Shinobi World War when the Ten Tails fires a volley of wooden spikes at Naruto and Hinata throws herself in front of his body. Well, yes, she does die in the battle against the Devapath. She understood that this was going to be a fight that she could possibly win. However, the act of simply turning herself into a human shield for Naruto is an act that has a 100% mortality rate. Guaranteed death, and yet Hinata had the confidence in herself and the love for Naruto to do that for him. I mean, she literally puts her life on the line for Naruto twice. And yet people will still say that Naruto has more romantic chemistry with Sasuke. And well, I mean, I guess that's kind of fair. He does spend the entire story chasing after the man who took his first kiss. Unfortunately, this rhetoric does kind of take away from all the things that Hinata has done for Naruto while he was out there struggling to try and get Sasuke back. But Nick, she's a classic yandere who ends up a housewife. How can you say she's well written? Well, here's the thing. You're right. She is a classic yandere. And yes, she does hang up the ninja gloves to become a housewife who lives her entire life raising Boruto and Himawari. But that's not a bad thing. See, there's a rising sense in literature where if a woman doesn't break out of what are identified as classical gender norms, she is therefore a poorly written character. And while the conversation around this talking point is much too nuanced and complex for me to get into in this silly little video about Hinata, I genuinely believe there is nothing wrong with Hinata becoming a housewife. But why? Well, 1, because it's exactly what she wanted, and 2, because she's so much more than just a housewife. And this rhetoric around being just a housewife, well, is kind of disingenuous to how hard it is to be a mom and a partner. Being just a housewife with 2 kids is deeply difficult. But still, even if you wanted to say that that's not enough, Hinata is the princess of the Hyuga, the head of the most powerful clan in all of Konoha, and now the strongest member of that clan. She created a new gentle fist technique at the age of 15, the 2nd youngest person in the history of Naruto to ever create a jutsu. She is so powerful and beautiful that a literal alien living on Mars tried to kidnap her and marry her so that she wouldn't be on the Earth when he destroyed it. She is the mother of the next Jinchuriki of Kurama and a wielder of the Joga. And more than anything, she is exactly what she wanted to be. She wanted more than anything over the course of her story to support Naruto. And while it does, like a lot of other female characters in the story, make all of her motivations male-centric, she accomplishes so much more outside of marrying Naruto that has nothing to do with him that it makes her romance with Naruto as small a part of her story as it is for Naruto. Now, obviously, we don't see all of it because the story's not called Hinata, but because of how much she accomplished and because of how much time and effort she put into supporting Naruto, it makes the two of them coming together not only organic and believable, but also beautiful. Hinata had a crush on a boy that she knew was special, and slowly but surely she was proven correct. She's the original member on the bandwagon of Naruto fans, because while those around the village slowly but surely learned to tolerate Naruto and then eventually love him and follow him, Hinata has just always loved him, and the fact that she's never once wavered in that belief is good writing. The one character outside of his parents who never hated Naruto is Hinata, which shows that she is the best judge of character in the Naruto universe. And for that reason, and so many more, I believe she deserves more respect. She is so much more than an extension of Naruto. However, the faith and love she placed in Naruto before anybody saw any value in him is one of her greatest qualities. You can't sit there and be upset that Hiruzen and Kakashi and Jiraiya didn't raise Naruto, and not at the same exact time give Hinata her flowers for being the person who saw the good in him the earliest. I get it, haha, the boys kiss, and neither of them are great husbands, and they're always yearning for each other. But if one person in Naruto deserves their fairy tale ending, it's Hinata, and I'm happy she got it. So is she the most underappreciated character in all of Naruto? Well, I'll let you decide. Tell me below in the comments who you believe is the most underappreciated character in all of Naruto, and I'll see if it measures up. And while you guys are down there, please, for me, like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's Buys and Tries Day.